So, in case you missed it, this past Tuesday, August 22nd, there was a fairly lengthy discussion at the board meeting about how to proceed and move forward with the idea of adding turf fields, or at least a turf field, to our athletic facilities at the high school. And somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're running for school board. What do you think of that?" And I decided to put this answer out there publicly because I do have a lot of thoughts on it, and I have, feelings on it, and think I should be expressed to everybody. So what I said to this person, I said, I was surprised to see a discussion of turf fields on the agenda, not because it's not something worth discussing. It totally is. And it is kind of an embarrassment that Boyertown doesn't have a facility that's become an expectation in most area school districts, our size and even many that are smaller, and is actually a necessity for one sport, which is field hockey, which is now played exclusively on turf, meaning because we have no turf facilities, our girls have to travel to Pottstown 422 Sports Complex for practices and have no home games. They play all their games on the road because we don't have a turf field. Our student athletes deserve a top-notch facility, and they were denied that opportunity during the new stadium project that happened a few years back. So turf fields were and should have remained a part of that overall project, but they were taken out in order to save money. Something that has become a mantra of BASD school boards for a long time, which is concerning themselves with nickels and dimes and trying to pinch pennies today without considering the dollars that they're spending tomorrow and planning for the future. It's surprising that a few months ago, the board approved a budget with more than $2 million in deficit spending. They didn't want to do things to fully fund the district, but now they're going to talk about turf fields. So this board passed a budget with no long-term projections, no long-term planning, and they've done this the last 3 years at least. And that has saved taxpayers about $12 per month over what their taxes could have been had they raised them fully to where they could have. So that $12 a month in savings over that time has meant that the district did not get about $5 million in revenue. $5 million could have went a long way towards doing a lot of things. The whole thing is, these are active choices that the majority of the board has made, and it's led to things like cutting middle school foreign language, class sizes going up, choosing to send kids to schools other than their home elementary school so that we don't have to hire more staff as classes reach their cap. So instead of hiring another teacher at that school for that grade, we send a handful of kids to other elementary schools. Voting to not buy a set of textbooks for a course because it costs money. Voting against free grant money to help fund a health and PE position because the grant mentioned equity, and knowingly choosing not to even give children some of the basics of education. But we're going to talk about turf fields. So the reality is, I 100% support turf fields. Like I said, we should already have turf fields. It shouldn't be a discussion now of how do we get one. It should be, are we adding to the one or ones we already have? So the reality is, until we see a change on the school board, things like turf fields are a pipe dream. And anybody saying otherwise is probably not telling the truth or doesn't understand their own budget process after being on the board for multiple years. So either way, that is an indication that we need a change.